Man. Uh, Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's like 6:14. The sun is starting to come up outside, and I'm up. I just woke up. Why? I don't know. Hold up. I want to put a laughing emoji in the title real quick. I'm triggered. AF. I am. I feel deceived. I feel tricked. I feel bamboozled. I feel lied to. I feel like it's gonna be a whole talk. Give me 1 second, because I'm about to put like 15 laughing emojis in this real quick. Hold on, wait. Give me my laughing emojis, please. There we go. I'll settle for 5. Can't do laughing emojis on my keyboard. Um, so things have been real quiet for me for a long time, honestly. Um, This is gonna be a personal. I'm gonna pull cards for myself. If y'all resonate, y'all resonate. If you don't, you don't. And I was typically, not typically, sometimes I do stuff like this on my other channel. I decided to do it over here. What card is this? Some foolishness? Who is this? The Two of Hearts with the Three of Spades. Being between worlds, a vision brought to life, choices that require foresight, communication. A complete restructuring of home, a breathtaking sight that redefines beauty, allowing one's soul to breathe. I feel triggered. So let's what's at the bottom of the deck? The Six of Hearts, maximizing or minimizing, limitation or support, look to the root. I feel like for a while I have not known what's been going on. Honestly, for me, since like February, maybe. And that's when I was like, hey, honestly, I feel like there was a whole bunch of confusion even in January. It was just like, does spirit just go quiet all of a sudden? What's happening? Because I remember in January, there was a lot of, especially towards the end of January, I think, and even in February, it just seemed like spirit had gone quiet. And I've been doing a lot of stuff this year. I've been growing in a lot of ways, as is everyone. And I feel like I'm gonna pop one of these icebreakers. I feel like as I've been discovering more parts of myself, I've also been like, in some way, uncovering. It's almost like finding new shadows, right? Because where there's light, there is shadow. And if there are new parts of myself that are coming to the light, those new parts of myself are going to come with a fair amount of shadow. And I feel like I've, at least internally, I may not necessarily read externally, but I feel like I've always tried to maintain a certain amount of balance while also understanding that the side of me that I was exploring was new for me. Um, and I feel like I'm not necessarily a very controlling person, but also I don't do what I don't want and I don't do what I don't like. So there is an element of control there. And it's something that limits me a lot and has limited me a lot in a lot of ways. And I feel like while I've been doing all of this growing in the dark, I feel like it's all leading me to make decisions that I'm not comfortable with, if I'm being completely 100% honest. And oh, here's the Tower and the Five of Pentacles at the cut. I'm using the SKT and the Diceology. I love these two decks together. Um, Then there's the Two of Cups with the Tower. It's just it's leading me to a space that I haven't been comfortable with, and I've known for a while. I've had a feeling for a while that it was leading me into this space, but I hadn't yet arrived. Three of Cups at the bottom of the deck. With the Three of Hearts, no, it was the Three of Spades. But without actually being face to face with that decision, I feel like I've been fighting it within myself this whole time. And it's like I have been, but I haven't been. It's something that it's something that I'm not completely comfortable with. And for me, I feel like that's why I'm like, I feel triggered, I feel tricked, I feel bamboozled, I feel lied to. Because I know that this isn't necessarily the case, but it feels like this is one of those instances where, so y'all know that Libra friend that I have and how I talk about him sometimes. I feel like this is one of those instances where someone who knows me and who knows how I get when I encounter something that I don't like. It's like, okay, hey, we're gonna come over here and we're gonna do this. And then we're gonna go over there and we're gonna do this. And then we're gonna go over there and we're gonna do this. And then we're gonna do something that you don't like. And then I'm like, you had me come in here, you had me go there, and you had me go to this other place the whole time, knowing that we were gonna do something that I don't like. And you know how I get when it comes to doing stuff that I don't like. And that's when my friend, my Libran friend, was like, "Yeah, that's why I lied to you." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And it almost feels like that, but at the same time, like I know that I have to trust it, and everything is starting to line up in so many ways. And the decision that I know I have to make is so supported, and it's coming to the time to actually do something about it that I'm not 100% comfortable with. I'm not even like, I'm like 15 maybe percent comfortable with it. Honestly, like 2. 2% comfortable with it. And I'm just like, but you know, growth ain't easy. And there's a few ways that I don't want to live my life. And there are a few things that I've learned about making these decisions. And old Patrick would have sabotaged so hardcore, so hardcore. And I knew because I casted my own little the end of 2020, and it looks pretty good, but it's also going to require a lot out of me. And it's almost like more than I know what to do with. But at the same time, it's not anything that I need to be worried about or concerned about because it's like all I have to do is do it. And I'm going to be supported in that decision. And it's not that I don't have a choice, because I do. But it was also about, I guess, putting me in the space where I'd actually make this decision that I know I need to make. And I'm just so over it. I'm like, wow, I'm like scared. Like, y'all are asking me to do a lot right now. Like, a lot, a lot. But it's not, but it is. It's so much. It is a lot. It is a lot. They are asking me to do a lot. But with everything that I know, it's like, it isn't. And if the divine is asking you to do something, like, they're not going to have you out there just floating in the middle of the ocean. It's for a reason. It's always been for a reason. But I'm just like, if y'all would have told me this at the jump, I still would have did it. Probably. And I need more water. This isn't strong enough. I still would have done it, but I don't know. I feel like somebody was like, "Would you, Patrick? Like, would you really? Would you, if you knew, and you had an inkling, you had a feeling, but if you knew that this is what all of that would be for, would you have done it? Would you really have done it?" Now, the honest part of me says no. The me who I am now gives a reluctant yes. um, and it's a lot. It's a lot. And like, I know I'm gonna do it. So let me just have my freak out. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, you're asking me to follow my heart. You're asking me to follow my intuition. You're asking me to abandon all of my fears and worries and anxieties, which are legitimate. But it's also the space that I've been growing into. But it don't make it any easier. Oh, we just okay. And I'm not gonna be specific, but it's just like, I mean, I feel like for a minute, I feel like there are a lot of decisions that I've had to make in the past over a year and a half, between the past year and a half to 2 years. Oh, in the past 2 years, almost. There were a lot of decisions that I've had to make. Some of them in the beginning were a lot harder, honestly, than some of the decisions that I've made in the past year. And I feel like a lot of times it's like I've gotten used to, it's like I feel like I've gotten used to leaping more or less, to the point where a lot of leaps that I've made don't feel like leaps. But this one feels like in the Matrix when they're like, okay, we're about to jump from one building to the next. And he like, what? And it's like, any doubt, any hesitation, any fear when you're making that leap, it you might hit the ground. So like I said, like, I know I'm gonna do it anyway, because I'm not gonna not listen. But at the same time, it's just like, oh, this is a lot. Y'all are asking me to do a lot. But at the same time, I'm asking for a lot. So if I'm asking for a lot, I'm gonna have to do a lot to get it. If I'm asking for more, I'm gonna have to do more. And it just kind of started hitting me, and I'm just like, oh, oh. One second. I need another one. And I'm only being like 3% over dramatic. I'm honestly being like 1,000% under dramatic right now because I'm a dramatic individual sometimes. And I'm really over here just like, wow. So this is what it was all for. And again, it's only the beginning, but I'm still like, so this is it. This is what you're asking me to do. This is what I've been growing for. This is what I've been healing for. This is what all of the pieces are starting to fall into place for. And there have been, oh, excuse me. That was rude, but I also just chugged an entire bottle of water. So there have been so many little like nods and winks that I've entertained. But again, it's like that's different than actually entering the space. It's different than actually making that decision. It's different than actually moving. And like I say, I like to practice what I actually preach. So I'm gonna do it. But I'm just like, wow. And there are a lot of thoughts that come to my mind that are not in support of what I am about to do and doing and need to do. But at the same time, I'm not going to betray all of that progress and hard work, right? Why would I do that? So I'm going to put these back. Actually, I do want. I want a card. Oh, girl, I hate this. You see that magician? I was like, oh well, this is what you've been manifesting. So hello. I'm like, girl, I didn't. Where's the Uber Eats? Is there like a Uber manifestations where like you bring the manifestation to me? I don't have to leave my home or my comfort zone. Everything just improves. Can I get like a card for these two, please? That'd be really cute. And then I'll read this again. Oh, this one almost came out. The tower. The tower. But it didn't. It flew up and then it went back down into my hand. So it didn't hit the table. Okay, there we go. Bottom of the deck is the initiate. I think with the two of swords right there. And temperance, the angel. It's like there's somebody up there who knows how I am. And they know who I am. And they know how I can be. They're just like, yeah, we ain't gonna say nothing. And again, like I've learned to listen to. I almost feel like in some ways I've learned the language of the universe, if that makes sense. Um, and it's so interesting because there's this one TED talk, and I watch TED talk sometimes. I'm that boring. Um, but there's this one about like, and I only watched it like one time, and it was a while ago. But I saw it pop back up on my home screen a few months ago, and it was a video about listening to the signs of the universe. And it's all about synchronicity, and it's all about the way that spirit communicates with us in our day-to-day life. And it's like not that 1 2 3 4 and 11 11 and 222 and 333 and 444 and 555 aren't synchronistic, excuse me, but it's about the things beyond just the numbers. And for some people numbers mean a lot, right? For other people, it's like, well, what does this number mean when I see it on the clock? Here's what a reader just said. How many cars is this? three, four cards. So we'll do two here and two here, like that. Boom. And I'm also gonna I-Ching those. Um, but I've learned, especially in the past year, and I talked about a little bit of it in the first part of the weekly release, the rambling part, when I was like, a person reached out to me and his name, his profile name was a synchronicity for me, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And there have been these other things that just kind of sort of line up, and I have been noticing the melting away of certain resistances, I guess. And I have been noticing almost the world, it's weird, but it's almost like the world is like confirming certain things. And of course when I see it or hear it, I get excited, but that's not thinking about what it's asking me to do either. Honestly. And there have been so many opportunities that I've received since May. I guess since Jupiter went retrograde, more or less, there have been so many opportunities that I've received, and none of them have necessarily felt right. All of them have felt more like a distraction or like potential paths or paths connected to things that I used to want that I don't anymore. And whenever, at least in my experience, and from what I observe, it's like whenever we're encountered with something that we used to want, it does sort of like pique our interest, even if we know that that's something that we no longer really have any desire for necessarily. Um, and it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot for me. And I feel like it's for me. It's definitely like this energy, and I feel like I honestly feel like there's almost this like. I wouldn't call this a dark night. I would call this a blinding dawn, honestly. When the sun is peeking up over the clouds, or when the sun comes up over the horizon and there are no clouds, and you've been in the dark for so long that you're like, oh my gosh, it's so bright. It feels like that. So there is like a little bit of discomfort there, but it's not dark and it's not nighttime. Um, it's another day. It's a new day. It's a new age. It's a new era, and it's the dawn of that. Um, but still, I'm just like, this is a lot that I feel that I'm being asked to do right now. But again, like, if you want a lot, you have to do a lot. Hello? How do you think this is going to work, Patrick? And it's also interesting because I don't know. Let me just get into these. Let me get into these. I'm shook. Oh my gosh. This is a lot. This is so much. So, for the Three of Swords, a complete restructuring of home, a breathtaking sight that redefines beauty, allowing one's soul to breathe. The cards that came out, it's the Seeker and the Wish Granted. The Seeker and the Nine of Cups. We're asking for a lot, and it's going to require a lot. It's literally right here. And it's the beginning of everything that I've been looking for and searching for, and so many things that I didn't even think that I would get or receive. So many things that, and I guess that's one of the reason why it feels like a brilliant or blinding dawn instead of a dark night, because it's light shining in areas that have been dark for so long. And I feel like for the past year of my life, pretty solidly for the past year of my life, almost a complete year of my life, I've been navigating in these spaces that are so far outside of what I'm used to. Usually I'm like, I stay to myself. I don't really talk to anybody. I don't really engage. And I'm not open. I'm not vulnerable. I'm not really trying to get to know nobody. But I've been like called out of that space for the past year now. And I have been sort of discovering different sides of who I can be and different ways of being. Like, I don't have to go into these super, super, super deep hermit modes anymore, because honestly, I'm showing up from day to day a little bit more. Excuse me. Um, and there is still some anxiety. There is still some fear in this space, but more than anything, like, I know that I'm taken care of, and I know I don't have anything to worry about. And that part of me is much, 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 much louder than anything else. But again, it's just like to be in the space of actually making that decision, or actually like stepping towards this. It's a lot. It's a lot. I feel like I feel like I've been working so hard on my little Chiron and Leo, and this is just trying to shut that door right back up. It's like, oh, you thought you was bad, huh? You thought you was doing something. Nah, well, this is what all of that was for. And then on the other side, it's the Three of Cups and the Magician, the Kindred and the Magus. So I have the Seeker and the Nine of Cups over here, and then the Magician and the Three of Cups over here. And it's like, is this not what you were asking for? Is this not what you wanted? Does this not live up to everything that you thought it could and more? Is it not actually more? Did you not actually believe that you would reach this space? Did you not actually think that this was real, little Pisces? Are you ready to live the dream? And the Pisces in my chart is like, you asking me for that? I'm like, it was cute when it was a dream. It was cute when it was a something that I thought about and something that I entertained. And it's like, I don't want to be in this space. But to actually step outside of it, I don't know. I mean, I'll be fine. And I know I will, like I keep saying, but it's just, this is what everything was for, right? And it feels like something that I've never done. Again, like with this initiate card at the bottom, I have two of the fools here, the initiate at the bottom of the deck, and then the seeker, which is the fool that seeks more knowledge. It's the fool that's already progressed on their journey, but they're hitting a space where they have one out of the three of these divine flowers. I think they're divine roses that have bloomed, and they're asking how to make the other two bloom, right? And it feels like something that will honestly put me in a space of not knowing. And I mean, I haven't known anything for a long time, and I've gotten really, really comfortable with not knowing. I've gotten comfortable with navigating in the dark, and just doing what lies directly in front of me and what I feel led to do, and trusting and kind of sort of maintaining these conversations, but also at the same time, it feels very like, oh, here's a blindfold that we're gonna put on you, and you're gonna love the surprise. And then you open it, and or you take off the blindfold, and you get there, and you're just like kind of shocked, kind of in a moment of disbelief, extremely happy, but at the same time, it's like what? Like, is this real? Is this for me? Are you sure? It's like, yeah, it's for you. Like, this is what you wanted, right? I went live on my leg on the new channel to read or to tap into what Jupiter direct could be bringing us. And it feels like this. It feels it's on this level, and it requires us to show up. That's one of the things that everything has been for. It's been a moment of preparation for this. So, I mean, again, this is something that is especially um, my personal experience. But if any of this resonates for you, either now, in the past, or sometime in the future, it's like this is what everything has been for. All of the growing pains and the discomfort and learning to trust and navigate and create peace and happiness in moments where there may not have been a lot of it. It's all been growing me, at least, to the point where I accept this. And the last two flowers bloom, excuse me, on the other side of this. That's only a third of the way there. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's this. Do I have spreads? Let's do a little three card something. I don't know. I mean, I feel like that was actually pretty self whatever. So I'm just gonna get a final message, and then I'm going to shut this down and not freak out anymore. And I feel like it's all hitting me so suddenly. Like, but again, I feel like I keep hearing the question of like, is this not what you asked for? Is this not what you wanted? But I feel like there's almost like it almost feels like there's no time. Hey, look, I'm seeing the angel with this angel and the Knight of Wands with this Archangel of Healing, King of Cups energy. Oof. Because it's like things are starting to move right now. I've already put so many things into motion that I can't afford to be the limiting piece. I can't afford to be what holds everything back. There's what New World Order. Here's New World Order with the Ten of Cups. Like, I don't even get my full 2 days to run because I need to start doing research today for everything that's starting to happen tomorrow. And I'm still trying to go to my dad's. And I've also been in the space lately of not really procrastinating. I feel like I feel like I've set too many things into motion. This is this exact reason why I don't like roller coasters. Because once the ride starts, you can't get off. You have to wait until it's over. And if I don't like it, I want to get off immediately. And it's like, no, 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 you can't do that. You can't do that. And it's not that I don't like it, it's just a lot. It's a lot. Oh, with the Emperor and the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. It's like, stop whimpering, stop whining and crying. Just pull yourself together and do it. And now look at what's at the bottom of the deck. The Keeper. That third Fool. And this card, I can't remember where. Might be at the top somewhere. All three of those. Oh, yeah, they're in the corners. Well, here's these two. Where's the third one? All three of the divine roses have blossomed. And this dove at the bottom of the card looks like. Oh my gosh. You can't make this up. This dove at the bottom of the card looks like the dove from the Ace of Cups. And look at what's sitting behind the Keeper. The Four of Wands demiurge. Now, the demiurge is someone who has the ability to shape and mold their own life in some ways. All these doves. Where's the third one? Or is it just the last two? And it's interesting because there's a raven. Is that what that one is supposed to be? No, where is it? Oh, it's right here. There's a raven on a hand right here. And I've been hearing the crows lately. And I don't know, something about the crows I kind of like just because they kind of sort of. I'm just going to flip the top card and then put this away. Queen of Cups, the Ivory Shield. And she's my energy for this month. This is what I'm supposed to be coming into. Um, they just like, they read like fall to me. And I like the crows, especially like when the air is crisp. It just reminds me of like leaves on trees that have changed colors, early mornings in the autumn, crisp air. And it's almost this winter energy where everything's asleep, but not quite. It's very much like an early bird energy where like not everything is asleep, but not everyone is awake either. And you go out and like the grass is still wet from the dew. And I was actually sitting on the porch earlier today and I heard one of the crows. I've been hearing them, but it'll be like random and they won't stay long because there's not a lot of them out. But I've been hearing them. And then there's that raven and the Keeper, the initiate, the seeker, and the Keeper. It's all there. But again, it almost feels like I'm coming into this space where I'm almost like a kid again in terms of me not really knowing anything. And that's fine. But you know, part of me part of me likes to know a little bit. But also I don't want to suffocate anything or put any expectations on it. I want to flow into the space and allow it to be whatever it's supposed to be. But this is a lot. But it isn't anything that I can't do. And like I said, I don't even get a full 2 days to like run away. I cut down my runaway period and my hermit period to like 2 days. Now it's like, oh yeah, no. Mm-mm. So I guess I get. It is really early, so I'm going to go back to sleep. So I'll get that period of time when I go to sleep, and then I need to wake up and start preparing for tomorrow. Oh, God. I just feel like they sprung this on me. But is this not what I was wanting? Is this not what I was manifesting? Is this not what I've been growing for? Oh no, it is. I'm just like, whew. See, I bet this is why I couldn't feel anything. I bet this is why I didn't know. I was like, I feel like I'm gonna pivot. I feel like I'm gonna pivot. Like, I feel like there are a lot of things that I could do. I feel like I could take one of these opportunities that don't feel right, that I know aren't right. But something is telling me to just like hold off, to just hold off and wait because something is gonna happen that I don't even expect. Something is gonna happen that's gonna completely shift things. And it'll be easier if I'm still before we do this sharp turn. Because if I'm moving too fast and I try to hit this sharp turn, the car might flip over, and we ain't got time for that. But I'm like, I just feel like I got whiplash or something. Like the car was stopped, and then somebody just slammed on the gas, and like it feels like that. Because I'm just like, oh my gosh. And it's like I have to be the one to conduct the train. I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay. Hey, here's the Ace of Clubs. A strong will and an open heart. All things taken into account at the bottom of the deck. This is the card that Virgo got, I believe, when I pulled cards for September. And Pisces got the Ace of Spades. And Gemini got the Black Joker. And Sagittarius got like the Two of Clubs or something like that. A strong will and an open heart. All things taken into account. The cards that came out are the Red Joker and the Eight of Spades. Material intervention, the coming of spring, mastering the game of life. With that Keeper and the Demiurge energy. Rearrangement and coagulation, seeing the truth of the self. Distorted creations abound. This is a Seven of Cups energy. I haven't seen this one yet. Rearrangement and coagulation, seeking the truth of the self. Distorted creations abound. Distorted creations abound, but there is this material intervention. And I feel like that it's kind of sort of related to that energy of like all of these different things popping up. And maybe it was also a reflection of a little bit of the internal resistance I had at that time. It was a few things. It was a reflection a little bit of maybe the internal resistance I had at that time at going in the direction that I knew I had to, or that I was feeling guided to go in. And so, part of me that was anxious and not really ready to take that step or that leap was kind of sort of manifesting all of these different ways out, right? All of these different distractions. Also, at the same time, it was teaching me that the things that I dream of and the things that I want, like when I'm a cooperative piece and when I show up to that conversation and when I do what I need to do to put myself in alignment with receiving all of that, then it comes. But it also put me in a space of realizing how my desires have changed at the same time. So it's a lot. It's a lot, but I'll be fine. I get a whole nap basically until I wake back up to get over it. And then when I wake up, I really need to do some heavy research. And like I've been trying, not trying, I've been moving, like I said, a lot of things right now. I have a lot of things moving right now. And it's all coming together to put me in the best possible position to make this move. And like I have a lot of resources, I have a lot of help. So I'm not in this alone, neither in spirit nor in the physical. Um, and it's interesting because what really motivated me earlier was these like tensions that were running in the house, low key below the surface. And that was causing enough internal friction. I was like, I want to get out. I want to escape. I can't stay here. And I'm used to having my own place. I'm like, right? But now it's almost like as I approach this, as I get closer and closer to the actual day, everything here is settling down. Everything here is calming down. Everything is being resolved. Things are changing in ways that some of them in January and February, I was starting to realize. And it's interesting because I had a dream. I saw my mom in a dream in January. And then she sat us down and had a conversation with us a few weeks ago. And I told her, like, I mean, I know my mother, and we're both Pisces, and my brother's a Pisces too. And so we can kind of sort of just like pick up on some of these things, especially me, and like with being her oldest child and the relationship that we just kind of sort of have. Um, and like that, the dream that I had made it. Honestly, the dream came before. Not really. Sort of. Anyway, I basically told her that I already had the dream in January, and she was like, in January, like things weren't even like whatever at that point. And I was like, well, weren't they though? Or at least like this is the path that you were on. This was the trajectory, and I picked up on it in January. So maybe it did come before she more consciously came to whatever. I don't know. But I could already feel it shifting in her. Um, and even in some other ways, it's just like a lot of things are settling down. And it's like peace is coming in, and these conversations are happening, and these resolutions are being found. Maybe resolution isn't the word that I want, but things are being resolved. And it's not what it was that initially served as that spark and that motivation, right? Because I get comfortable. That's the thing about me. I'll get comfortable even if I don't necessarily like the space. I'll get comfortable. And a lot of people can be like that. Um, some people aren't. But it's just interesting that like now that that day is getting closer and closer, it's almost like I don't need for this part of my experience to have so much friction. I don't need for there to be so much resistance, and I don't need for there to be this ejecting force because everything that it was leading me to, I'm now on path to do or to get or whatever. So, yeah, it was just a lot because I feel like it's something that I've been knowing, but without being this close to actually making that decision and at least being this close to like the opportunity to be in a position because there's a lot of opportunity right now and I have to hone it in on what I want. And not only what I want, but also what I'm being pulled towards. And it's so interesting because I had a dream a while ago where I was going looking for spirit guides in my dreams because I was like, I need to have a conversation with y'all. And so I had a lucid dream and I took that as an opportunity. And I've talked about the dream before. I don't remember if I talked about what it was about necessarily. Um, but in that dream, I was like, I need to find my spirit guides. Show me my spirit guides. And how I navigated in dreams before this one was different. But that's when I saw the dude get a message on his phone. And he was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, did you just get a message about taking somebody to meet somebody?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, well, I'm the somebody that you're going to be I'm showing around. So, hi, nice to meet you." And he's like, "Okay, but like I don't know I don't know what you're looking for. I don't know how to get there." And I was like, "Just follow your intuition. Just go wherever you feel led and we'll end up in the right place." And it was easy for me to say to him, and he did it. And I show up to this like it was this large restaurant style place. And there were these two large round tables. There were many, but there were two large round tables that had empty seats. And I was like, "Oh, which one do I go to?" And then the girl called me over and I can almost remember what she looks like. And it literally just hit me, I think the day before yesterday. And I don't know why, but in the energy oracle cards, the angel of love is, she reminds me of the girl of the spirit guide that I saw in my dream. And it's the hair. It's primarily the hair, honestly. Let me see. Let me pull it to make sure because I didn't actually look at the card after I had this realization. I just went off of the memory of what the card looks like and the memory of that dream. And I remember when she was talking to me about what she does in my life, I was like, "Oh, so like this is like pretty easy for you, isn't it?" And she was like, "Yeah, like, you're not too whatever in that area. But recently I've kind of gotten a promotion of sorts and I'm in charge of this." And she was basically in charge of my awakening and my journey and in charge of kind of sort of getting me out of the dark night. And I was like, "Oh, wow. So they really did you like that." And she was like, "Yeah, it's a lot more than I was doing before, but bottom of the deck." She was like, "It's a lot more than I was doing before, but it's still not bad." And I guess it's interesting now to think that, or to feel the tie between, yeah, to feel the tie between her and that random girl who was just sitting there who called me over. Oh snap, Clarinda! I'm actually up early. Technically, it is 7:08 a.m. But I woke up randomly after a few hours of sleep, and then I got some messages that were just like triggering. I was like, "Oh," I'm like, "No, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to follow. I'm not ready to follow. Please, anything but this." And so then I came live. But yeah. Yeah, good morning. I mean, I'll be going back to sleep here fairly soon. Is it late over there? How are you? How are you doing? It's been a while, or a few days at least. Let's get one of these energy oracle cards. And I'm just like, wow. And like the very first message I saw, I was like, okay. So I was already like softened up because of the first message. But then when I made it to the other one, and it took me out. It reminded me of the first time I read for myself and I did that Celtic cross. And I saw something that just was not ready to let go of or ready to work through, but I knew that I had to do it. It's just like that. Oh, it's uncomfortable. I don't want to do that. Anything but that, please. Anything but that. 10:09 p.m. Sunday night. Well, hey, we're on the same day right now. It's Sunday over here too. It's not too often that we find ourselves on the same day, is it, Clarinda? Jupiter is direct. I don't know if you've heard. Oh wow. What? Oh yeah. And you're still out? Are you gonna be able to like recover a little bit more before you have to do anything else? Have you been able to rest? Is Zaya still making frequent trips to the restroom? Or has he calmed down so you can get some sleep? Excuse me. Okay, alright. Give me some cards. Just lay it on me. Just lay it on me. Just completely run me over. Because at least there will be nothing else you can do to me after that. And then I'll recover and I'll be fine. Why did that one song, Goddess of the Moon? It's like, I don't know that song. It's like, put it on me. I think. Da 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 da. Na 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 na. On and on and on. There's my card. Bottom of the deck is the world. Oof. Oops. Took you 3 days to get back on your feet. Oh my goodness. Well, 17 and a half hours of work and that that short of a time span would have taken me a while to recover from too. The woman holding a coin. The woman holding a coin with the world at the bottom of the deck. Is that you, Clorinda? The woman holding a coin? Doing that work? Work. It almost it feels like an alignment, you know. Here's that abundance that you've been manifesting as well. If you want your abundance, then you're gonna have to do that thing that you don't want to do. And it's not that you don't want to do it, it's not that I don't want to do it. It's just asking for a lot. And honestly, I feel like I've tried my best to show up for a lot of things this year that I honestly was not ready for and I didn't feel ready for. But I was like, if this is a challenge to grow and if this is the space that I'm feeling led to and if this is how I feel in this space, then it's at least worth trying. And the same applies now. And I honestly don't think it's going to be as big of a deal as it feels. Like it is, but it isn't. Because like it's a space that I've prepared myself for. So I'm going to be ready and I'm going to be fine. So there's no need to worry or freak out, but yeah, yeah. Those pinnacles, yes. I mean, well, thank you, Clorinda. Thank you. It's the time. It's time. It's time to move on. And it's time to actually get out there in the world. And it's time to put my ink pen into the quill and to touch the paper and to begin to leave my mark and to begin to utilize all of the things that I've been learning. Did I go a little ham in some of the energies? Sure. I was new to it, okay? We all start at pages before we become kings and queens. But I don't know. It feels like a lot coming from like it's not even the shadow part of me, honestly. Because I feel like I honestly feel like the shadow part of me is already on that page. The light part of me is on that page, and they've been working with my higher self and my guides and spirit and the angels and everybody else to put me in this position. I feel like I'm the part of me that just needs to step up and to not be afraid and to take the challenge head on and to know that I've been prepared for this. So, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Clorinda. They don't call me Mr. Chairman for nothing. Let me stop. All right, so that's where I'm gonna leave this. It's been a whole hour. I'm gonna get some gosh darn sleep, and yeah, it's it'll be an interesting few months for sure. And I knew I had a feeling. I was like, and it's not what I thought. I was just like, wow, like I have so many. And I actually went back. I took my own advice and I went back and I watched the Taurus retrograde story. I started with that instead of Pisces. Um, and and like in the Taurus retrograde story, I think the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, the Ten of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune all came out. It was a lot of tens, at least three tens in the minors and the Wheel of Fortune, but I think all four tens came out. And it was this energy of like needing to raise the whole platform and not just like this area, not just that area, and not just another. It's about elevating the whole thing. And I feel like in some ways I've done a lot of that, but it's time to begin elevating the last few. So, like I said, I know I'll be fine, and I do feel like this piece. I feel like I just needed to vent. So sorry for just projecting out there, but hey, shield yourself. You'll be fine. Excuse me. What'd you say, Clorinda? Loads of tens and the star. Yeah. So that star card, man. The star and the nine of cups. That's the thing about the star. Because there are some times when I look at the star, and especially if I'm reading for something that I don't have any context for, and if I don't feel like prying into it, I just like with the star card, that's us wishing for something that we don't have. It's a pretty big wish, the star. And when it gets fulfilled, it's like if you want a lot, you're gonna have to do a lot to get it. And I can do it, so it's fine. But yeah, that was it. That's why I put all the laughing emojis on here because I'm just like, ooh, 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 ooh. It's time to trust. But honestly, there is, like I said, I can feel this peace coming in, and I don't know how anything is going to play out. I don't know how anything is going to work. but I know that I'll be okay. So there isn't much for me to actually be worried about, but a little bit of a heads up would have been nice. Actually, like I said, if I had that heads up, I might not have done everything that I've been doing. It may have been a little bit much. Like, oh, you want me to what now? But yeah. Wait, sing what? Sing what? What I sang? What I sang? All right. So thank you for stopping in, Clarinda. It was fun, even though it was just so brief this time that we've had on the same Sunday of the 13th of September. My dad's birthday is in a few days. And then I'll be seeing him here fairly soon. So that'll be fun. Right? I don't know. All right, so I'll catch y'all later. What'd you say? Yes, it's great to see you too, Ms. What do I Miss Baker? I don't know. I feel like that's not. I don't know. I need to. I'll think of something, Florinda. Yeah, it's been. I feel like a lot has been crazy for a lot of people, and I feel like I have not been keeping up with people like I could or should. But things will calm down, right? I don't know why that's so funny to me. Things will calm down. Things will settle down. Call you the star. All this wanting. Hey, well, if you want a lot, Clarinda, be prepared to do a lot. And I feel like you are. I feel like you are. But yeah, all right. It was lovely. It was fun. I miss you as well. And I hope that, you know, your recovery from that intense work period keeps up. And I hope that you get more business, but I also hope that you get more rest. Can you have both at the same time? All right. I'll catch you later. Love you too. To everyone else, have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you are aligning yourself to better and acting on it when the time comes. Even if it's a whole leap and a half or three leaps, I hope you'll dance, right? That's the song. I hope you'll dance. And if you get a chance to sit it out or dance, I hope you'll dance. Dance with God, dance with spirit, dance with the universe, dance with your ancestors and your angels and the world around you and the people that you love. Dance with everything and everybody and just make your way through the ballroom of life.